All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to pull on a thread that connects Roman conquerors, globe-spanning corporations, and even the mob. It's a fascinating story about a 2,000-year-old blueprint for power, how to build an empire, and, more importantly, how to tear it all down. So let me ask you this. What could Roman soldiers, colonial traders, and the mob possibly have in common? I mean, really think about it. You've got legionaries marching through Gaul, British merchants basically running India, and modern crime families operating in the shadows. They seem totally unrelated, right? Well, what if I told you they all use the exact same playbook to get powerful? First up, you've got conquest. Think about Caesar's legions. This wasn't just a bunch of guys with swords. No, this was a highly organized machine built from the ground up for one thing: expansion and control. Then there's commerce. Take the East India Company. It started out as a simple trading firm, but grew so powerful, it was pretty much its own colonial government. It was all about profit. And get this, it had its own private army that, at its peak, was twice the size of the official British Army. Absolutely wild. And finally, of course, you have crime. Modern criminal syndicates, the mob, they are structured with just ruthless efficiency. Every part is designed to manage and grow their illegal businesses. So what's the secret sauce? What's the one thing that ties them all together? It's the hierarchy. A powerful top-down command structure that lets them scale up and operate with incredible efficiency. And the parallel to today is just striking. Seriously, look at this. The Roman military model is basically a direct template for a modern company. The general at the top, that's your CEO. The legates and tribunes, they're the senior VPs. Centurions are your middle managers running the teams on the ground. Even their support units, like engineers, have a direct line to today's R&D departments. The structure is almost identical. It's uncanny. And you see the exact same pattern with the East India Company. Their London board, it operated just like a modern CEO and board of directors. Their regional presidencies in places like Bengal were, for all intents and purposes, different divisions of the company. And yep, they even had their own dedicated legal and accounting departments. This is the blueprint for the corporation as we know it today. So all of these organizations, they share these core features, right? A strong leader calling the shots, a crystal clear chain of command, and specialized departments that do one thing really well. It's a design that's perfected for growth, but, and this is a huge but, this same design creates one single critical point of failure. The whole thing depends on its leadership. Because all the big decisions flow from the top, you take out the leader and the whole system can just grind to a halt. Okay, so if you're trying to take down one of these super efficient hierarchies, going after the foot soldiers is, well, it's pretty much pointless. You need a totally different strategy. You need a legal weapon that's designed to strike right at the heart of the operation, the top. And that's where the story gets really interesting. Now, the legal thinking behind this, it actually started way back in 1804 with the Napoleonic Code. That's what really established the idea that the state had centralized authority over other organizations. So this concept that you can hold an entire organization accountable, it developed over centuries, and it all led up to this game-changing U.S. law passed in 1970. It's called the RICO Act. And the absolute genius of RICO is that it doesn't just prosecute one-off crimes. Nope. It targets the entire enterprise by going after a pattern of racketeering, things like bribery, extortion, fraud, done over and over again. The law basically says, we're not just charging you, the person, we're charging your entire organization as a criminal entity. And here's where it gets really powerful. Under civil RICO, if you're a victim, you can sue these organizations for triple the amount of damages they caused. 3 times. This creates this massive financial reason to go after them and dismantle them by hitting them right where it hurts, their bank account. It's a tool literally designed to bankrupt an empire. So we've got the blueprint of the hierarchy, and we've got the weapon designed to take it down. The big question is, how do you actually use that weapon to hit that one critical weakness we talked about? It all boils down to this one simple, incredibly powerful idea. Because these structures are so top-down, if you can legally go after the person at the very top, the boss, or even the boss's boss, the whole thing becomes incredibly vulnerable. In legal terms, this whole strategy is called piercing the corporate veil. Think of the veil as this legal shield that normally protects the leaders and owners from the company's actions. Piercing it means you're breaking through all those layers of protection to hold the people at the top directly responsible for what the entire enterprise did. And a takedown like this follows a pretty clear path. First, you have to legally identify the organization as a corrupt enterprise. Then, you show its pattern of illegal activities. The crucial step is linking that pattern to the enterprise itself. Once you've done that, you have the legal grounds to go after the leadership. And once the head is targeted, the whole structure can be brought down. It's a classic strategy that's as true today as it was 2,000 years ago. Whether it's a legion, a company, or a crime syndicate, if you can remove the head, the body just can't function. So why are we talking about ancient history and anti-mob laws? What does this have to do with today? Well, because these exact same principles can be used to understand the massive, complex bureaucracies that run our world right now. Yeah, this whole way of thinking isn't just some historical curiosity. It's a really powerful lens for looking at accountability inside any huge organization today, whether that's a multinational corporation or a sprawling government agency. So we can actually adapt this model for today. The boss's boss might be the owners or a board of directors. And we can even add new players like major investors or powerful stakeholders, the assured, who can influence policy from the side. When you use this kind of map, you start to see where the real power is, not just what the official org chart says. I mean, think about huge public organizations like the FDA or the CDC. These things are vast, incredibly complex hierarchies. By applying this framework, we can start to slice through all that red tape and ask the tough questions about where the real authority and the real accountability actually lies. And that really leaves us with the big final question, doesn't it? In these massive, sometimes faceless organizations of the 21st century, maybe this idea of piercing the veil is more important than it's ever been. It forces us to ask, who's really in charge here? And at the end of the day, who should be held accountable?